In Zaporizhzhia direction, Russia is intensifying its offensive with a series of mechanized assaults aimed at pushing north toward Orikhiv. The Russian forces attempted a new tactic to breach Ukrainian lines, but the defenders were already on high alert and prepared to respond. RFU News media outlet says Russia's goals here are twofold. Firstly, they want to pin down the defenders and disrupt their attention, while another Russian group is assaulting from the east, trying to get behind the Zaporizhzhia defense lines towards the region of Dnipropetrovsk. Secondly, their strategic goal is to bring Zaporizhzhia city within tube artillery range, allowing them to disrupt Ukrainian logistics and endanger the civilian population, which will create additional problems for the Ukrainians. To open the gates towards the regional capital, Russia needs to take control of Orikhiv, marking its operational goal. There are a lot of more defensive structures west and south of Orikhiv, so if the Russians capture Mala Tokmachka, this will allow them to bypass some of the defenses, as there are fewer fortifications from this direction. The Russian command has ordered a frontal attack on Mala Tokmachka recently, with elite VDV troops who are annihilated by Ukrainian drone units. After failing from this direction, the Russians decided to exploit the other routes from the southwest. This will allow them to send forces through at least 2 vectors, which will divide Ukrainian attention and give the Russians better chances. Extensive open fields enable attackers to maneuver off-road, but this creates other risks, as the area is heavily mined by both sides, so the Russians need to use vehicles equipped with mine plows. Ukrainians were on high alert after the recent attack, and reports from Ukrainian partisans working behind the front line of the Russian troop redeployments in the region. Due to this, Ukrainian operators are monitoring up to 15 kilometers behind the front line with drones. This allows the defenders to detect enemy movement in time and start engaging them in the kill zone, denying them the chance to get close to the actual positions around the settlement. The Russian soldiers who survived the initial engagement dismounted but were quickly hunted down. The Ukrainians were able to eliminate the Russian vehicles before they were able to reach the positions and create a direct threat to the defenders. Compensating with drones is vital because the Ukrainian positions are understaffed, as this sector was quiet, while there are several hot points on the front line which forced Ukraine to prioritize them and redeploy more soldiers there. Russia adjusted its approach and assaulted simultaneously from 2 different directions, thinking it would be enough to overload and penetrate the well-prepared Ukrainian defenses. The Russians will continue pushing in this direction, as they see it as a chance to divert Ukrainian attention from other parts of the front line where they are struggling. Even if the Russians continue accumulating losses and run out of armored vehicles, or the mud season makes it impossible to use them, they will switch to infiltration tactics with small infantry groups similar to other directions.
China on Monday reiterated that country security cooperation should not target any third party, after Canada and the Philippines signed a key defense agreement to boost combat drills and expand security alliances to deter aggression. According to Associated Press, Canada and other Western nations have been bolstering their military presence in the Indo-Pacific to help promote the rule of law and expand trade and investment in the region. The strategy dovetails with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s efforts to build defense ties with other countries to help the Philippines' underfunded military faced with a militarily superior China in the disputed waters. Asked about the deal at a daily news briefing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning reiterated the country's long-standing objection to any bilateral cooperation undermining a third party's interests. Flexing military muscles and stirring up confrontation are detrimental to regional peace and stability, she added. She also commented on Chinese President Xi Jinping's meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney last Friday, saying China is ready to take this meeting as an opportunity to resume and restart exchanges and cooperation with Canada. Mao also confirmed that China will resume group tour services for Chinese citizens traveling to Canada through travel agencies. China is willing to work with Canada to provide more convenience for cross-border exchanges and also hopes Canada will take reciprocal steps to ensure a safe and comfortable travel environment for Chinese tourists, she said. Relations between the two countries took a nosedive in late 2018 after Canadian authorities arrested a senior executive of Chinese tech giant Huawei as part of its extradition agreement with the United States. China then arrested 2 Canadian citizens and charged them with espionage. Separately, Mao refuted U.S. President Donald Trump's allegation that China is among the countries conducting secret nuclear tests.
中方一贯认为，国家之间的防务安全合作不得针对第三方或者损害第三方的利益，炫耀武力、挑动对抗，不利于地区的和平稳定。 中方愿同加方一道努力，以这次会见为契机，恢复重启两国各领域交流合作，推进解决彼此关切的具体经贸问题，推动中加关系早日回到健康、稳定、可持续发展的正确轨道，更好地造福两国人民。
大家好，我是这个提问。中方发布了22点2万人场的科纳访华消息，中方如何？
综合考虑中国游客出境需求、当地旅游环境等各方面的情况，中方决定恢复旅行社经营中国公民赴加拿大团队游业务。相信这将进一步促进中国同加拿大的人员往来，增进两国人民的相互了解和友谊。我们愿同加方共同努力，为两国人员往来提供更多的便利。 也希望加方相向而行，为中国游客提供安全舒适的旅游环境。
主席在韩国庆州同加拿大总理卡迪举行会见，这是习近平主席时隔8年首次会见。
作为安理会常任理事国和负责任的核武器国家，中国始终坚持走和平发展道路，奉行不首先使用核武器的政策，坚持自卫防御的核战略，恪守暂停核试验的承诺。 我们希望美方也能够切实遵守全面禁止核试验条约的义务和暂停核试验的承诺，以实际行动维护国际核裁军和核不扩散体系，维护全球的战略平衡与稳定。